Yeah, questions are rising on the mental state of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. When you look at his policies and actions since he came to power, on the very day he got the microphone to address Nigerians, he declared fuel subsidy is gone without any definition of what he means by fuel subsidy, and without any prior discussion with the legislature, the judiciary, workers, and the general populace. Fuel subsidy is gone. Took Nigerians, reasoning Nigerians, and knowledgeable Nigerians took them aback. What's happening? And not long after, other subsidies are gone. And that same year, approving more than 90 billion for Hajj subsidy. So when you put all this together, but that's not the end of the day. Fraud-prone palliative schemes, while refusing to pay living wage to workers, wages that will take care of their transportation and living expenses, including what a worker is expected to do for his family members, with particular reference to children and parents or grandparents or dependents. Now, the latest. Rather than addressing the complaints of workers regarding the paucity of their salaries and allowances, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came up with a loan scheme for federal workers in tertiary academic institutions. How does that take care of what the Academic Staff Union of Nigerian Universities, and indeed the workers in Nigeria's federal universities, academic and non-academic, are asking for the implementation of the 2009 agreement, due for implementation since 2013, but being thwarted by the leaders of the unions, colluding with government to get fraudulent earned academic allowance, whereby every strike embarked upon by the workers' unions, with particular reference to the Academic Staff Union of Nigerian Universities, ASU, ending every strike with getting fraudulent earned academic allowance. So, in other words, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, like his predecessors, Goodluck Ebele Asikwe Jonathan and Muhammadu Buhari, prefer to be colluding with workers' unions leaders to shortchange workers rather than doing the needful for workers. And what is the matter with loan? Your student loan, you are still begging students to come for loan. But nobody is deceived that how many students will President Bola Ahmed Tinubu grant loan when workers are generally poorly paid, receiving less than living wage, with skyrocketing runaway inflation. Workers that find it difficult to use their cars for those who have car, and for public transport to work to and fro for those who don't have cars, because the prices of everything has gone more than triple with the proclamation and action of all subsidies gone, with particular reference to fuel subsidy. So, loan for federal university workers in federal government tertiary academic institution, loan, not adequate salaries and allowances, not addressing promises made to the workers, but floating another loan scheme. Or you want to think of the claim to be transferring funds to indigent households. And you ask, which countries developed from transferring funds to indigent households? The war against the Boko Haram Muslim community is ongoing, and more terrorists and terrorist organizations are mushrooming, and banditry growing. In fact, it has grown wings. If you listen to the news on daily basis, hardly any day without some communities being ravaged by armed bandits. So the security infrastructure has been grossly depleted with the war against the Boko Haram Muslim community, to which the All Progressives Congress government under Muhammadu Buhari added herdsmen terrorism, and all are sundry being sustained by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And adding to that was much abject poverty than Tinubu inherited. Of course, the situation became degenerated to incredible levels under Muhammadu Buhari, and Nigerians were hoping that somebody better would take over. You now think of America, where Joe Biden flopped and Donald Trump deceived them with we end the Ukraine war within 24 hours and promises like that, only to get power and speak as somebody who is mentally deranged, accusing Zelensky, Volodymyr Zelensky, the Ukrainian president, of starting a war that the whole world knows was started by Russia's Putin. So you ask yourself, what's happening in our world? Biden flopped. Donald Trump, who flopped in the past, was returned as American president. So I compare Joe Biden and Donald Trump with our own Muhammadu Buhari and Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because definitely it was like Donald Trump just came and messed up everything, worse than under Joe Biden. And that is exactly the situation of Nigeria. Bola Ahmed Tinubu worse than Muhammadu Buhari. in economy, in security, everything. Because he vowed to toe the lines of Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, who started the justifiable and avoidable war against the Boko Haram Muslim community. Goodluck Ebele Asikwa Jonathan, who perpetrated the war in his 4 years as Nigeria's elected president. Muhammadu Buhari, 8 years, and now continued by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and distracting Nigerians with age of entry into tertiary academic institution, student loan, transferring loan to, oh my God. And now, rather than addressing the salaries and allowances of Nigerian workers, you say you are floating a scheme, loan scheme for them. So it's something really not amiss up here. Is Tinubu really normal? Or as normal as Donald Trump? I can't understand, because look at the misery to which Donald Trump's policies subjected Ukraine. It is like adding wings to the wings of Putin. Even at one time, Donald Trump saying that Russia is bombing the hell out of Ukraine. These are things you don't want to think about. Compared with Bola Ahmed Tinubu, where subsidy is gone, what does stress subsidy mean? All subsidies are gone, and yet sinking Nigeria in worse debts than he inherited, despite all subsidies gone, attaching every project to loan. So he's taking loan and sinking Nigeria in debts, and now trying to put loan on Nigerians. Nigerian parents, because when students take loan, it's a burden on them, and who knows, on their parents. And now the parents, many of who are workers, will now also. So Tinubu is imposing on Nigeria loan culture, a loan culture that has destroyed many Americans and countries that make loan a culture, make loaning a culture, borrowing a culture. Yes, many lives of Americans are destroyed because of loan, because of easy loan, easy access to loan, and loan mentality. So Tinubu's mental state must be examined, must be questioned, because sometimes it will be about age of entry into tertiary academic institution. It will be about enforcing computer-based tests on WAEC and NECO, West African Examination Council or National Examination Council, for students, many of who don't have electricity, let alone computer or computer knowledge. They don't do computer in their schools because there's no electricity, no computer. But who is to blame them? Because some of the political professors that they give political appointments are not less inhuman. They are not less inhuman than those who employ them into government. Is it politicians? Political professors are not different from other politicians. Don't you see, in the Academic Staff Union of Nigerian Universities, ASU, the leaders on their own amended the constitution to be extorting a 2% of each ASUU member's monthly salary monthly, and to decrease or increase the percentage to be extorted as deemed fit by the leaders alone. And so 2% of each ASUU member's monthly salary monthly 2012 to 2024, and from 2024 3% under Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It started under Goodluck Ebele Asikwe Jonathan. Under Tinubu, it went up to 3% as I speak. So, where is sanity? Mental sanity, issue of conscience, issue of morality, inhumanity of human beings to human beings. Why is it only that wicked people seek power? In society, in church, in mosque, in academic institutions.